Yeah. The SSS system. Yeah. An independent agency of the United States government whose purpose is to provide drafted men to the armed forces in an emergency. The agency also runs an alternative service program for men classified as conscientious objectors. See, conscientious objector? Yeah. Virtually all men of ages 18 through 25 are required by law to register with Selective Service System. Now, in the event of an emergency required an increased military force, the SSS will conduct a draft using a list of names of registered men. Mhm. Potential draftees would be classified based on an evaluation. Men classified 1A would be available for induction. Then they could file a claim with their local board for exemption, deferment, or postponement from military service. Oh, the military draft. Now, could you get me the SSS? I'm going to want to know the GPS location of all of those, yes, that have registered with the Selective Service System as being available for the draft that have a dog. Now, your lookalikes have pissed me off, Sheriff. Yes. And I would say that anybody that is an imposter of an American citizen because you had to make a dog of them, I'm going to sue you. Now, quite often, yes, when you consider this idea of the actual citizen being the citizen, yes, it does. There are those that said, well, we have to go this way, yes. But any pastor that made anything that looks like an American citizen before they were the age of 18, where the law requires them to register with Selective Service, yes. I'm going to want to know if they have a dog. I want to destroy the family's dogs. Yes. Now, this trial by jury, oh, all Americans have the right to trial by jury. Yes. People 18 and older can be called to jury duty. When you are an adult citizen, 18 and older, yes, you can be on a jury. Yes. You can defend the nation. Yes. You can volunteer to join the military. You can buy pornography and tobacco products. Poop. Now, for some reason, the government seems to disagree with this thought right now. Well, why don't you get me every graduate of each and every high school where their birth certificate, yes, said they were 18, they were an adult, and then get me the jury pools of all of those. Now, I'm upset at law enforcement for not realizing the crime of arresting me multiple times for a false arrest. Yes. And I'm going to want to know the conditions of the jury duty right now. See, there's an oath involved in being a juror on a jury. Yes, there is. There's probably some sort of oath involved because I will research it. Yes, you will. Of the necessary information to register with Selective Service. Yes. And you said right now, I'm going to fucking sue you. Now, I'm going to want all of those that they were born 18 years ago, yes, for the last 40 years, that were potential jurors, yes, and they were possible draftees of the United States of America. And if I find out Pastor Mike or any other person in law enforcement made any dog that looks like them, you violated the requirements of being a juror on a jury. Yes. You violated the necessities of Selective Service System. Yes. And you violated the United States of America. Kill your dogs today. Now, education. Schools require citizens to attend school to a certain age. I had mentioned that my sons are in the wrong grades. Yes. And the only reason that they're not in my custody, yes, is you don't want to enforce forgery laws. Yes. You cannot use a forgery to issue a protection order. Yeah. Now, the protected person did not sign the protection order. There were no protections to the to the respondent, the minors named, and the petitioner. Remove your fraud. Yes. Now, I made this bigger for you for those who have a difficult time reading it. Yeah. Now, the time required by the law of the issuing jurisdiction, and in any event within a reasonable period of time after the order is issued, sufficient to protect the respondent's due process rights. Now, somebody said that I had no rights. Pow! Now, let's say you issued a temporary order. This means that the temporary order is enforceable after the respondent has been provided with notice, even if the hearing has not yet been held. As in, you could have a court hearing and issue a temporary order, and you could serve the individual even though you haven't had the hearing. Yes. Let's say you beat the shit out of somebody. They're in the hospital. Yes. It's going to take them X number of months to recover because of domestic abuse or child abuse. Yes. They can serve you the protection order, and it is enforceable until they are actually able to appear in court for the permanent order. That's correct. Now, if the hearing has not yet been held. Now, as long as there will be an opportunity to be heard within a reasonable period of time before a final order is issued, before the issuance of the order. Now, I've asked you to remove your protection order. Yes. You can see here the protected person didn't sign it. Yes. And more than likely, Christy Miller knows about this. Yes. You can see that the respondent did not receive actual notice of the hearing. Yes. And you issued it for 10 years. Yes. You can see that the petitioner didn't sign it. Yes. And this is a forgery. Yes. Now, I want my sons. This bad faith of issuing court orders. Yes. Now, I didn't put any pictures of Marilyn in this. Yes. Because my thought was she might want to pray with somebody other than her husband. Yes. Or those that she has been praying with for the last 25, 30 years. She might want a new prayer partner so that we can pray through each other. Yes. Because we both know about praying in tongues. Now, this duties and responsibilities of citizens. Yes. Let's say you're an alumni. ALUMNI. Hey, and you're alumni of Northwest University. Give me all the graduates and every person that has attended any Assembly of God school. Yes, where they did understand the doctrinal requirements of those that wanted to go there. Yes. Now, this whole idea of tongue talking, yes, it is important to me. Might not be important to you, but it is to me. And let's say you're violating my rights. My sons are being held hostage in their wrong graves. Yes. And well, let's say that I want to know all the alumni that did sign the doctrinal statement of the Assembly of God Schools of the United States of America. Now, for all the alumni that know about speaking in tongues, yes. Isn't that right? I'm going to want to know their professions. I want to know if they're an attorney, if they're a teacher, yes, if they're a pastor, if they're a mandatory reporter, poop, because I will sue each and every individual that enrolled and went to school based upon the doctrinal statements of the individual Christian university. Now, for every idiot fuck that happens to be a pastor, I will sue all of you for having any knowledge that this nation refuses to enforce my rights, yes, won't enforce the rights of Marilyn Van Proyen, because as alumni, you signed a statement that you understood the doctrinal statement. Now, these alumni, I want them of every college and university of the United States. I want their selective service signatures. Yes, he does. I want their ability to be jurors. Yes, he does. And I want to know the alumni of every college and university.